Welcome to Sports Taza. With me today, I have Gurkirat, and we're going to be discussing the two matches that happened today. The two most successful franchises, Gurkirat, Chennai Mumbai, yet to open their account. Was today's loss somewhere expected?
Yeah, they were up against the eight ball once they lost the toss, and both the teams were I think at least 20 to 30 runs short, at least 20 runs short, if not 30 runs. You saw how good the pitch was when RCB were batting, and how quickly the ball was coming off the bat. But I think both the teams did well in terms of stretching the game till the 18th over, and the knocks of the respective opposition captains helped, whether it became Williamson scoring a 40 ball 32 or Faf scoring a 24 ball 16. Those two knocks actually helped the opposition in terms of the net run rate. But they yeah, both the teams were never in the game. I'm very happy that someone like Abhishek Sharma scored that 70 odd 75 I think, or 50 balls, which
Yes.
allowed him to showcase his potential, because far too many calls of him being on the basis of two matches. So
Similar with Anuj
thankfully,
Rawat as well. We'll
yeah.
stick with the Mumbai RCB match first, then come to the Chennai match. So, first of all, were you happy with Mumbai's team today?
No, it was very surprising. I don't know why would they drop Taimal Mills, who's their highest wicket taker. I know his economy has been slightly on the higher side, 9.9, but he was the one who was taking wickets and giving them breakthrough, so it didn't make sense for them to drop him. And ideally, if they wanted to Daniel Sams, which is something that most people had predicted, there was Fabian Allen who could have come in.
There
So
was Riley Meredith as well.
yeah, so I mean, so Riley Meredith doesn't offer much with the bat, but Fabian Allen does, and it was quite surprising that they played someone like Ramandeep Singh ahead of Fabian Allen. Uh, yeah, it didn't make sense, and it didn't make sense when they dropped Tim David as well after the second match,
Correct.
and he sat out the last game. I don't know. Maybe they are already looking forward to the next season and want to give match practice to someone like David Brevis, but it would actually be too soon if they start doing that.
It is, Mumbai has always been a slow starter. This year, also the T20 World Cup season with Rohit being the captain. I don't assume them actually already starting preparing for 2023. That is too soon. So, one positive for Mumbai at least was Sky with back to back 50s. Mumbai was 79 for 6. They had an amazing power play start. And then from 79 for 6, Sky actually had that partnership with Natkar, made sure that he stays till the end and gives Mumbai at least some defendable total.
See,
So how? Yep.
I wouldn't say that that partnership, that power play was great. It was good. It wasn't. See, they were, I think, 49 for no loss or 50 for no
Yeah,
loss at the end
50
of
for
the
no
power
loss
play.
after 6.
Yeah, so it was good. I wouldn't say it was great. Great would have been, maybe.
Considering the overall match, relatively, yes, I would say it
Yeah,
started well.
yeah, but ideally, I would have said great would have been 60 for no loss, because it was a high scoring pitch. It's another thing that Mumbai collapsed and the innings went nowhere in the middle overs. As far as Sky is concerned, he's been in a magnificent touch, if you see, since the 2020 IPL or even before that. So he's definitely claiming a spot to be that finisher in the Indian T20 side, or even the ODI side, to be bad at 5 or 6. But I think with KL Rahul opening in the T20 side, he's trying to stake a claim for that finisher role at number 5, number 6, and he's doing that well so far in two matches.
And if we just look at the T20 World Cup also, going by the squad balance, obviously Sky and Shreyas Iyer both may be in the squad, but I believe only one of them will make it to the playing 11. So a tough chance for whoever misses out. Coming to the RCB bowlers, and I don't think Siraj is having a good season so far. His economy is above 11. But Hasaranga Harshal again, economy of 5 in the 4 matches so far, getting wickets again, which just shows last season was not a fluke. What do you have to say about RCB bowling? Because that has been a weak chink in their armory always. Like RCB is always criticized for his bowling. What do you have to say about that?
No, I think it has changed since the time Mike Hessen has arrived. In 2020, also they tried to do a lot of things right, wherein they signed someone like Chris Morris. They had Adam Zampa. They got Isru Dana. It's another thing that it didn't work out for them, but they had the right options. And last season also, they did well with the ball. I think out of the three games that they have won, you could definitely say that two of them have been won through bowling. Even in the Rajasthan game, I thought the bowlers did well for majority of the part, except for a couple of overs in the end. So, without a doubt, I think they have the best bowling lineup, with Lucknow being a close second. And now that Maxwell is there, they also have another spin bowling option who can bowl in the power play, or can bowl depending upon the matchups. They didn't need to use Shahbaz before this game today. It's another thing that he went for runs, but it still gives you an option. So without a doubt, the best bowling lineup this IPL.
Definitely, that's a huge positive for RCB. Their bowling is always being criticized. You spoke about Abhishek Sharma losing his spot. There was another opener, Anuj Rawat, had only scored 47 runs so far. And there were talks about him losing his spot as well. But today, a good 66 ensured RCB wins this. When Faf was not scoring, Anuj Rawat kept the run rate high in the initial overs, gave Faf that freedom to actually settle in, consume a lot of balls. So happy with the partnership. And what about Kohli's wicket? Was that out? Was that not out? Or a controversial decision?
Uh, I wouldn't say that RCB's opening partnership is settled yet. They were 30 for
Correct.
no loss after the power play today. I
Yes.
don't think it's something that most teams would be happy with. And even Faf started slowly in the game against Punjab. So, and Rawat has scored today, but Faf hasn't. So it's important that whosoever is opening, that you at least score 40-45 runs in the power play. uh, I think there is a lot of work that needs to be done in that regard for RCB. That yes, Anuj Rawat accelerated later on, but I don't think 30 for no loss after 6 overs is something which is sustainable. Coming to the Kohli decision, uh, it's very simple for me. If the umpire said that he feels that the ball is hitting the bat and pad simultaneously or together, as per the rules, it's not out. So that's where I stand on it.
Okay. So this has happened with Kohli in the past as well. In one test match, you saw a similar decision. He refereed it going against him. Today again, going against him. Although RCB won comfortably, had RCB lost this match, it might have been a huge controversy further than what we are getting to know now. So RCB beats Mumbai. Mumbai had a better head-to-head against RCB in the recent past, but Mumbai yet to open the account in 4 innings, and Mumbai is ninth in the table. Coming with the day match that happened, another team, the second most successful team in the IPL franchisee, CSK, they've also lost 4 out of 4. What is wrong, Gurkeerat? क्या दिक्कत कहाँ चल रही है?
Problem is that they didn't plan well in the auctions, and now they are paying for it. I mean, if you are just playing two foreigners out of 11, which out of the four that are allowed in the 11, it just shows that you don't have enough faith in it. As far as CSK is concerned, them dropping Conway after one game was a surprise. Now they dropped Pretorius as well, which is another surprise.
Yes.
And like I said, there was a lot of talk about captaincy and with related to Jadeja after the second game. But if Ravindra Jadeja is your best Indian bowler after an injury to Deepak Chahar, then you've not planned well, and CSK are paying for it more or less.
Absolutely, and if you see their foreign selection is a bit baffling as well. Although Theekshana came in today, and I'd say that is a fine pick because Moeen Ali, Ravindra Jadeja both not bowling 8 overs, so you need another spinner. Theekshana went for runs, but yes, dropping Pretorius always not advisable. I thought he was doing well. Jordan did well in the last match, but I think Pretorius had been performing well for them, had been more consistent. And again, as you mentioned, dropping Conway was not expected. Moeen Ali did score some runs today, even he was struggling a bit before this. But same thing happening with CSK. One match they scored 210, their bowlers are not able to defend. Against Punjab, they get all out on 125. Today, 150. So in a day pitch where you know Dew is not going to play a major part, Jadeja said in the toss he's excited to play a day game. So were you happy with CSK score? You mentioned about the overseas picks, but what is wrong in the batting or bowling? Wait,
The last match, they should be disappointed with their batting without a doubt. I mean, most days you have to chase 180 at Brabon. We
yes.
saw even Gujarat did it, and many would argue that maybe Gujarat's batting lineup is is at best as good as CSK's, if not
I think
worse.
it's below par. They may be getting the
Yeah,
results, so it's not coming out.
yeah,
Shubman Gill
they
is
have a
leading
lot of
them, but
support players, and no one would have accounted for Gill doing as well as he did.
yes,
So that's there. And with regards to CSK today as well, 154 was a below par total, and they should be very disappointed. Ruturaj not scoring runs is something which is hurting them, and Faf is obviously not there, so there's no one to fill that spot. Uthappa did well in that one game, but their bowling didn't do well. So it's nothing's coming together for them. They need one good game where things can come together for them, so that they can get those results or 2 points.
Perfectly. We spoke about Anuj Rawat, his opening slot. Coming to the second player, Abhishek Sharma, his opening slot was also in concern. The commentators actually went ahead and said and asked the coaches if so the opening spot for Abhishek Sharma was also concerned. Commentators openly asked Tom Moody as well if he deserves it. Should Rahul Tripathi open? And Abhishek Sharma did perform today, 75 or 50. You said very correctly that Kane Williamson was 32 or 40, but Abhishek Sharma kept the momentum going, got the runs. So SRH, although in after 10-11 overs, they were 70 for no wicket, which was still a decent start because the target was not a 180, 190. Target was just 155, so Kane could afford that. But do you think SRH has solved some of the issues? They dropped Abdul Samad, someone who they had retained.
It just goes on to show that when that there's a complete lack of conviction in the plans, right? If you drop Abdul Samad after just 2 games,
Yes.
firstly teams need to realize that someone like Abdul Samad or Yan Parag is not going to give results to you immediately. They are young, and you have to consider the positions that they are batting at. Riyan Parag is in an even more difficult position because there's no batting to follow after him. There's Ashwin at 7, and then there are three number 11s. With respect to Abdul Samad, there was Romario Shepherd who was coming in, and this game both Romario Shepherd and Abdul Samad were dropped. Uh, what I think might happen with Williamson doesn't get going straight away in the power play, they could probably promote Rahul Tripathi to open and have Makram at 3 if a wicket falls early. And I think they might want to avoid Kane Williamson batting in the power play. They want to maximize the power play, and they want him being there controlling the middle overs. So
What do you
in
think
a
is the reason behind Williamson Open? He was always playing for even for SRH at the number three spot. Why has he started opening all of a sudden?
I'll tell you why. Because they wanted, they wanted someone who could take on pace bowling, or who could play those classical cuts or drives, the classical shots that you have against pace bowling. Because Tripathi and Abhishek Sharma both will always be a little vulnerable to good fast bowling, as we saw in the first game
But
where
you have
uh,
Markram as well, who opened in the test or used to open for Punjab. Why can't he play
no, he
that?
wasn't opening for Punjab. He wasn't opening for
No, but
Punjab.
he can open, right?
He can open, and he wasn't opening for South Africa as well. So the reason he's not opening is because they want a batter at number 5 or 4 who has the gears against pace bowling to help them finish off at the death. Nicholas Puran, we know, sort of struggles against back of length bowling and bouncers. With Markram, that's not the case. So they wanted to utilize Markram's power as well as range in the middle order to help them finish the innings. Kane Williamson has the range, but he doesn't have the power.
And
So
you
they
expect
wanted.
that to be changed.
So
Williamson might not open, you were saying.
yeah, so
As per you, he should not.
no, I'm okay with Williamson opening, but not if he's going to, come out of the power play after playing 21 balls and scoring 14 runs or 15 runs. I think that is absolutely not helping the side. I understand the logic of Williamson opening, like I said, because it helps them keep one end. It helps them have one end which can attack against pace, and then there's Abhishek Sharma which can take on spin bowling. Or else, if you have both Abhishek Sharma and Rahul Tripathi opening against good pace bowling, as we saw in the first game in Pune when they were playing Rajasthan Royals, both of them could be a little vulnerable, right? So that is why they didn't go for it. But if Williamson's poor form continues, I won't be surprised if Rahul Tripathi is pushed to open with the Williamson being 3 or 4 depending upon when the first wicket falls.
Yeah.
And yeah, Puran if a first wicket falls later on, like say around the fifth over, then Williamson would come in and Puran at 4 and Markram at 5. But if a first wicket falls early, then I completely see someone like Markram coming in as well to take advantage of the power play.
Absolutely makes sense. And you talking about Rahul Tripathi opening, he actually carried SRH home. When you expected probably things can get tricky, Rahul Tripathi ensured scoring a 39 or 15 balls that SRH reaches home. Coming to the last point for today is that MI in ninth, CSK in 10th. Not a great run rate as well. Lost 4 in 4 matches. Everyone has at least scored points. Gujarat and Lucknow, the two new franchisees. Gujarat winning all their matches, Lucknow winning three on a trot. What do you think? Qualification chances are over with only 10 matches left? Yeah, there's still something to play for.
No, no, there's still a lot to play for. I wouldn't say any team's comfortable yet, because the only thing is, like I've been repeating for quite a lot of time, uh, this IPL is very unevenly matched because not all teams are playing others twice. So if you're
Yes.
lucky, you'll probably be playing a team who you match up better against twice, and if you're very lucky, you might play two such teams twice, and then have the luck of the
But
toss
today
to
everyone
go
was
with it.
saying CSK is playing Hyderabad, which is the weakest team, not performing, not
See,
in
that
great fashion.
it's
Good time for CSK to start winning.
it all comes down to the perception as well. Hyderabad definitely had the better bowling, even if you discount for them not having Rashid, which they used to have earlier. There's a mouse
Please
that
आप ये
came in.
हर्षा भोगले वाला वो मत कर
नहीं,
देना.
नहीं,
No one.
there's a mouse that came in and it hit my foot, so I was taken aback.
No, no, no
No
issues.
prank or
All
anything.
good.
Yeah, yeah, all good. I was just taken aback. So
No, no, no
yeah.
issues.
So coming back to that point, uh, yeah. Uh, SRH's bowling was obviously better, but you expected CSK's batting to take care of it. And I thought that I still think that maybe if CSK were batting second, they could have won.
Mm-hmm. Okay. On that note, we have an exciting two matches coming up tomorrow. Shreyas Iyer plays against his ex-franchisee. You also have Rajasthan facing Lucknow. So yes, stay tuned. Thank you, Gurkirat, for tuning in. Thank you to all our viewers. The video will go live on YouTube. Do stream in and do subscribe to Sports Saza.